Hello there! So, it's been a little while since I've done a book haul, and it is time. But this is not just any book haul. No, this is the birthday book haul. I can't do an unboxing because I'm too impatient and I opened everything. Also, my birthday was like last week, so I'd be waiting a while. But I'm gonna show you all of my birthday books and all of the books that I acquired before and after that. I suppose we should just jump in? Yes, I think so. This first book was given to me by my cousin, McKenna. Thank you, McKenna. And she got me We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. And she included this Doctor Who bookmark, because she's obsessed with Doctor Who and really wants me to be too. But I can't do it. I'm trying. I've started the series many times. Maybe one day. But anyway, recently I've heard a lot of awesome things about this book. I don't know anything about it and I've been told that's the way that it should be. So that's how I'm gonna keep it until I read it. Which I hope is soon. It's a pretty small book. I am so intrigued by this. This next book was given to me by my friend Jo. And she got me Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Delera. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. The first thing that pops out to me about this book is the cover. I really love the cover. The next thing that pops out to me about this book is the blurb by Stephen Chbosky. Not the actual blurb, but the name Stephen Chbosky. Stephen Chbosky likes this book. It's going in the cart. The premise seems a little strange, but I think once I get into it, I'll really get into it. So this is one that I'm really looking forward to. Thank you, Jo. These next few books come from my Amazon wishlist. So just before I start doing this, know that I've deleted my Amazon wishlist. It will no longer be available. I can't just not say thank you to the people who gave me books. Just set aside your opinions real quick. So the first one I received is Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I did read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell earlier this year, and I loved it, and I have Eleanor and Park, and I can't wait to read it, and now I have Attachments, and I can't wait to read it, and this was sent to me by Danelle. Thank you, Danelle. She sent me this book and a really sweet note with it, so I can't wait to read this one. Thank you again. This next book was sent to me by Maya and Michaela from New York, and it is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wine. I heard about this from Marie Lou, and it immediately went onto the TBR. I haven't heard anything really from booktubers about it, but a lot of authors seem to be liking it, so I'm excited to read it. Thank you, Maya and Michaela. And they also sent me this book, Beyond the Horizon, which is a collection of poems and prose, and apparently some of their work is featured in this, which is awesome. 8th grade class of 2014, and I guess this is on Amazon and it looks really cool. I'm gonna try to find their work in this. It says that these are from someone named John, but then they're signed Maya and Michaela, so I don't know if like John is the parent, but thank you, John and Maya and Michaela. Everyone, this is awesome. And the next one I actually got at the meetup that I did in Chicago with Sasha. It was totally unexpected, and someone gave me a book because it was the day after my birthday, and it is The Geography of You and Me. And I was given this by Talia, who has a channel, Nerd with a Voice. So thank you so much, Talia, and it was so nice to meet you. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. She's working with this literary agency this summer, and I love Jennifer E. Smith, and I read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. I loved it! I'm really excited to read this. Thank you! Alright, we can release the Amazon wishlist tension right now. Next is a book that I got from my friend Sasha from a book Utopia. She came to my house on my birthday, and then we did the meetup in Chicago the next day, and then I went to her house that night, and the next day we filmed some videos, so those will be up soon. But of course, we're booktubers, and we don't hang out for 3 days straight without going book shopping. We went book shopping like 3 times. Anyway, she bought me Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I've been avoiding buying this one. It just didn't look too great to me. But I succumbed to the pressure and I let her buy it for me. And now I'm gonna read it for her. Anyway, thank you, Sasha. Actually, as you're watching this, we're probably at VidCon right now. VidCon's happening. So thank you, Sasha, for this book, and I'm so excited to read it now. And I'm glad I finally decided to get it. With your money. The next book I got in New York City when I was there for BookCon. That's also where I did my interview with Alex London, and I went and saw If Then on Broadway, and just lots of stuff happened in 2 days in New York. One of those things being going to an awesome meetup for booktubers at this really cool bookstore in New York City called Strand. 18 miles of books! So I couldn't just walk out of there without one. So I got this book, Two Boys Kissing by David Levithan. Love David Levithan, love kissing boys. Wow. I read about the first 10 pages of this just because I was curious, like, how it was written and what it was like. And the writing style is extremely unique. And I'm interested to see what the rest of the book will be like and if it kind of continues this pattern. And I got this Strand bookmark. If you ever go to New York City, go to the Strand. Back to Illinois, while I was book shopping with Sasha, she took me to Half Price Books, and I've never been there before, and it was magical. So I bought 2 books. The first one is Tease by Amanda Maciel. Not confident on that pronunciation of the name. I just read a little bit of the description, and it deals with a really difficult subject, so I'm looking forward to getting into the book and seeing what it's all about. I think it'll be difficult to read, but also a really good thing. And while I was there, I also got Hidden by Peacecast and Kristen Cast, which is the next book in the House of Night series for me. So this is the 10th one. I had 1 through 9, I've read 1 through 8. The 12th one's coming out this year, so I want to catch up. It's not the best series, but I read the first 9 books, so there's no going back. And it was $6.99. So. And then I kind of impulse bought this book, but I don't regret it at all, because I definitely wanted it. It is Noggin by John Corey Whaley. I've never read a book by John Corey Whaley. I think I want to read Where Things Come Back first, but I'm really intrigued by this and his writing style, and the idea of this book, and like what, I'm confused, and I'm intrigued, so I picked this up. Real quick, before I continue with the book haul, I just wanted to let you guys know about Audible. Audible is this really cool website I've been using. It's the leading provider of audiobooks, and they have over 150,000 options. So Audible and I have become friends. And if you go to audibletrial.com/TiernanBE, you can get a free audiobook. My personal recommendation would be Bossy Pants by Tina Fey. I listened to this. I do have a copy, but I didn't actually read it. I listened to it, I just had to buy it because I have problems. But I would definitely recommend listening to this instead of reading it, because Tina Fey reads it to you and it's just like hanging out with Tina Fey. It's awesome. This book is hilarious. I would definitely recommend listening to it, and you can get it for free. So go get a free audiobook. The link will be in the description. It's just audibletrial.com/TiernanBE. Okay. Back to the book haul. My friend Gabby got me this tic-tac-toe book, and basically you can play tic-tac-toe with yourself, but like with the book. It's super weird, but it's awesome. Like, you could stay up so late doing this. And she also got me this book called 14,000 Things to Be Happy About, and it's really nice. It's literally just 14,000 things in a book to be happy about. It's awesome. Thank you, Gabby. I love this little book. It's so sweet. The next book that I have is this beautiful hardcover of The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings. I had an ARC a few months before it came out, but Lindsay was nice enough to send me a signed hardcover. And I did a live show interview with her, with Sasha Alsberg as well. So if you want to check that out, it's on my channel somewhere. Link in the description. So if you haven't picked up The Murder Complex yet, you want to. So when I went to New York City, I interviewed Alex London, author of Proxy and Guardian, at a literary agency. Apparently, if you're a booktuber and you go to a literary agency, they're gonna give you a lot of books. So I got a lot of books that I've never heard of, but I'll take them. So I got an ARC of this book called Kiss of Broken Glass by Madeline Kuderick. It's written like this. So this one also deals with a pretty serious topic. It comes out in September. And then we have The Far Dawn, book 3 of The Atlanteans by Kevin Emerson. Now I just need books 1 and 2. The next one I got is Boy 21 by Matthew Quick. The next one is Changers by T. Cooper and Allison Glock Cooper. This is about this guy going into his freshman year of high school. I can relate. I did that one time. The next one is A Really Awesome Mess by Trish Cook and Brendan Halpin. This one looks like a really cool contemporary, and I'm actually really excited to read this one. I read about it. It seems really unique. And we have The Vengeful Prophecies by Brian Ferry. This looks like a middle grade book. I don't know much about it. Maybe I'll lend it to some of my younger cousins. This seems like something that they would be into. And finally, I got the first 3 books in the 7 Wonders series, The Tomb of Shadows, Lost in Babylon, and The Colossus Rises. I've also never heard of this, but it looks pretty good. It's the series. Rick Riordan likes it. It's probably good. The next books I received from Penguin, and I'm really excited about them. The first one is Earthbound by April and Pike. I'm really struggling with these names in this book haul. This seems like a really cool series. I received the sequel as well, Earthquake. This comes out later this year. I was really intrigued by the covers, and then they just sounded like really cool books. The next one is Conversion by Catherine Howe. This is basically about this high school and a bunch of stuff starts going really weirdly. That's about all I know about it, and that's about all I want to know while I go into it. I'm really interested in what this book is all about. And the back of the cover, it's a super creepy but awesome cover. And finally we have Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April Genevieve Tuchulk. That's her name. I have butchered almost every name I've said in this book haul. Basically, in this book, this guy comes to this town and a bunch of weird stuff starts happening and children are disappearing, according to the back at least. It looks rather creepy in the best way. That's about all I have for today. This was a really successful birthday as far as books go. I will see you next time. And if you're at VidCon, go to the BookTube panel. Alright, I will see you guys later. Goodbye! And we have the Venge Keep... What?